speakers and participants, a hearty welcome from Punjab. UNESCO is promoting collaboration and partnership in the context of media and information literacy. And we are setting an example here. There is a collaboration between Central University of Punjab, Bathinda and Guru Kashi University, Talwandi Sabo. Now let me explain Guru Kashi. Guru, it means Guru Ki Kashi. Guru Ki Kashi means center of learning. So it's a center of learning where the 10th Guru of Sikhs came here last time and he redictated the holy scripture, Guru Granth Sahib, and also wrote the historical Zafarnama to the Aurangzeb. Zafarnama means the story of victory. So I am Jagtar Singh. I have joined Guru Kashi University on 24th of August 2022 and I am working here as Professor of Library and Information Science as well as University Librarian. Then we decided that we are organizing this UNESCO's Media and Information Literacy Week 2022. As a sequel to that, we also wanted to be a party to that. So this is first international webinar where we are starting it, and that's just a first step. And there will be number of series, webinars, training, workshops, and collaborations and partnerships. As far as this media and information literacy is concerned, we are not talking of media and information education. We are talking of media and information literacy, just like there is a difference between common sense and wisdom. So basics of information skills for learning, which are expected from all the citizens across different levels, horizontally and vertically. Media and information literacy should start at the school level and it should cross the frontiers. If you put something on the left side, it becomes that literacy, legal information literacy, media and information literacy, health information literacy, digital literacy, like that. So today, I feel personally that the case is different in developed countries of the world. But in developing countries of the world, the awareness and understanding of media and information literacy is not up to the mark. That's why we are trying to create awareness of media and information literacy. And UNESCO has many activities. UNESCO has the MIL Alliance. Anybody can be member of that alliance. And then it has research wing. That is Millard University Network. That is the research arm. Then publication. It publishes Millard Yearbook also. And then there is a MIL toolkit, MIL MOOC, MIL indicators, and many more things are there. And every year it is organizing a MIL Week feature conference. This year, this conference is being held at Abuja in Nigeria. It is from 24th to 31st October 2022. Fortunately, I am also participating. And I am happy that Dr. Elton Grizzle was also to represent UNESCO from the Paris headquarters. Unfortunately, he is traveling and he promised that he will send a recorded video, but perhaps the connectivity is poor, so he could not make it. Then we requested Mr. Hezekiel Dlamini, and he has been very kind to step in to represent UNESCO. We welcome you thoroughly, we welcome you warmly, dear Hezekiel, and we are happy that you will be adding value to our webinar. And at the same time, I want to say that our movement has been from nomadic society to knowledge society via agricultural society, information society, and today we are heading towards attention society. We are seeking attention because we are having more and more of everything, but less and less of time. But You see, we must be aware of the domains of knowledge, information, knowledge, and wisdom. Here I am reminded of T.S. Eliot, who has beautifully said, where is the wisdom we have lost in knowledge? Where is the knowledge we have lost in information? And similarly, S.T. Coleridge is saying, water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. This is happening here only, that we are flooded with information, but we are starving with knowledge. So, how to convert data into information and how to convert knowledge into wisdom, and then how to use that information and knowledge ethically and legally? That is the biggest challenge. And I won't take much of your time because we have prominent international experts to speak on today. In this last week of October, in this Mill Week feature conference, the theme is media and information literacy to build trust, because there is a lot of misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, fake news, hate speech, conspiracy theories. And the main challenge is how to build trust in this media, because there is a symbiosis between information and communication. And the real challenge is to find truth behind the story, because we are to also certain how the media is being controlled and under which conditions the media is working. We are to decode the motive of the media. If it is a profit media, a profit motive, then we should be more serious about it, that they will be doing anything to watch their profit. And similarly, there is new media and we are not consumers today, we are prosumers also. So we should also be responsible. So I think that four learning outcomes of media and information literacy are critical thinking, independent learning, recognition, and self-regulation. With these words, once again, I welcome all the experts as well as participants of this webinar. And now I take an opportunity to introduce our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor S.K. Baba. Professor S.K. Baba is an internationally known educationist, and she is right now the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Guru Kashi University, Talwandi Sabo. I can say only one thing about Professor Baba. She never goes with the flows of the thing. She always swims against the current and takes the bull of challenges with her from the horns, not from the tail. Because you will come to know about Professor Baba when she speaks. I don't want to say much about her. With these words, now I request Professor S.K. Baba to inaugurate this webinar. Professor Baba, floor is yours. Professor S.K. Baba.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jagtap. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor R.P. Tiwari, Vice Chancellor of Central University of Punjab, Mr. Hezekiel, then Professor Veronica, Professor K.S. Arul, Miss Rachel, and Mr. Vijay Tunge, Professor Jagtar Singh, all faculty and students of Central University of Punjab and Guru Kashi University. I welcome you all to this webinar and congratulate for celebrating Global Media and Literacy Meet and organizing this webinar on media and information literacy for reinforcing academic trust in quality education and research. The strategy of UNESCO is to bring together information literacy and media literacy into a combined set of knowledge, attitude, and skills, which are required for living and working in 21st century. It will definitely reinforce quality education and research. Both information literacy and media literacy will empower the students to understand and critically analyze the information and media content. As you know that nowadays in India especially, NEP 2020, which has been formed recently and is being implemented in India, is also focusing on bringing quality education and research. And through this webinar, if the students are empowered, and if we say that the students have easy access to the information provided through web and media sources, it is true they are getting it, but reliability and authenticity of content is difficult to be established. Generally, we are observing this in the classes, in all educational institutions, that every information is available on web but is not trustworthy, and the students are lacking in identifying the authentic material in the web. But the knowledge about information and media literacy, if it is provided to teachers and students, will improve their not only teaching skills of the teachers, but it will improve the curriculum and other resources also. And according to UNESCO, everyone should be empowered to access the new information or knowledge and to express themselves. It is for everyone. Moreover, it is not acquired once. It is a lifelong process, dynamic process, and it is a kind of experience. And it gets completed only when it includes knowledge, skills, and attitudes. And if we want to improve quality in education, then we will have to improve or we have to provide the knowledge about information literacy, and I think it should be included in the curriculum. Secondly, all students and teachers must be educated on plagiarisms and ethics. And they must be given awareness to use different types of sources, and because of which they will be able to establish reliability and authenticity of the content, so that they can be helped to be aware of misinformation, disinformation, and opinions which are presented as facts. And we all know that lies are disseminated through media, especially through social media. And this will not only improve quality of education, but quality of life also. And they will be able to filter all this different type of information, what they see, what they hear, and what actually is. What are the facts. So action must be taken on guidelines provided by UNESCO on global media and information literacy to develop such competences. It will help everyone to enjoy full benefits of human rights, particularly freedom of expression and access to information. It will also develop competences to take part in knowledge societies, to work as a global citizen. And NEP also focuses on bringing the knowledge society into force to take collective wisdom, decisions based on collective wisdom, and also it is focusing on providing quality education and making the students global citizens and empower the students. This empowerment can only be achieved by developing competences through information and media literacy, especially if they want to work in this digital age. And I hope the deliberation of this webinar will explore more on these issues and will give direction to bring quality education and research. I wish you good luck, and I hope that these deliberations will be fruitful not only for teachers but also for the students. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Bawa. You have rightly raised the critical issues. First, the reliability of information is necessary to build trust of the academics. That's the most important point. Then we should also raise awareness and understanding of plagiarism and ethics. And you have rightly said that media and information literacy must be placed under core of instruction across frontiers, horizontally and vertically. Thank you very much, ma'am. You are very busy, even then sparing your valuable time for our webinar. So with this, now we shift to our next speaker, and our next speaker is Mr. Hezekiel Dlamini. Let me introduce him. He is Advisor Communication and Information for South Asia at the UNESCO Office, New Delhi. He is Master of International Business Administration from United States International University. He has done a massive work on community radio stations in African countries. He is a passionate supporter of free expression, access to information, and safety of journalists. He has many things. Because the time is precious, I'll share the detailed biodata later on. But now I want to say today, he will share with us what is the mandate of UNESCO Media and Information Literacy or Communication and Information Section, and what UNESCO Office New Delhi is doing, what sort of initiatives are being undertaken to promote media and information literacy in this region. Mr. Haziqal, the mic is with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Singh. Good afternoon to all of you. The previous speaker has set the scene for me, so I think my beginning will be shortened because the issues have already been raised. This event is taking place to celebrate the Global Media and Information Week 2022 under the theme Nurturing Trust, a Media and Information Literacy Imperative. Indeed, the continuing surges in misinformation and disinformation erode trust in media and established institutions, which leads to polarization and threats to peace and human solidarity, with a direct adverse impact on democratic processes and sustainable development. Countering these is therefore imperative if we were to reverse the growing discrimination, hate-based violence, and new restraints on freedom of expression and media rights. Hence, I congratulate the Honorable Vice Chancellors of Guru Kashi University and the Central University of Punjab for jointly organizing this event to promote media and information literacy under the theme Media and Information Literacy for Enforcing Academics' Trust in Quality Education and Research. We at UNESCO are convinced that developing digital media and information literacy skills and policies is essential for tackling the unethical and harmful online behavior that we see today. Given that MIL training is also offered by non-academic institutions such as NGOs and other actors, we also believe that the curriculum or the curricula and courses should be standardized and harmonized to guarantee good training outcomes at all levels. While digitization offers a heightened level of access to information, media, and other digital content, MIL, including digital skills, the divide associated with MIL and digital skills remains a substantial challenge for achieving the global goal of leaving no one behind. UNESCO supports efforts that drive media and information literacy to reach everyone, to enable individuals to think critically and click wisely. The goal is to enhance MIL capabilities of policymakers, educators, media and information professionals, youth and their organizations, and disadvantaged populations, as well as assist countries to formulate national MIL policies and strategies. This is indeed in line with UNESCO's priorities for MIL development, which are: 1, adaptation and integration of the UNESCO MIL curriculum in primary, secondary, and tertiary education. 2, organization of multi-stakeholder national consultations on MIL policies and strategies, as well as the eventual formulation, implementation, and monitoring of these policies and strategies. 3, design and implementation of national assessments of MIL competencies. However, to reach everyone under these priorities, the training courses and tools need to be in multiple languages. We still face this, especially when it comes to fact-checking sites. They're still predominantly in the major spoken languages and not in local languages. There could also be tools like apps that assist in debunking and other verification approaches, which are predominantly not languages spoken by minorities. We also know that gamification of training courses significantly improves the reach to the youth. MIL is an essential skill, given the volume of information people need to process in their day-to-day lives. This is particularly acute for media professionals. They can benefit from critical thinking, particularly when it comes to problem solving, information gathering, opinion formation, and source evaluation. To reinforce academics' trust in quality education and research, students, and of course, teachers as well, must be equipped with skills to assess quality sources that are current, reliable, credible, and unbiased when they are interacting with media. 2, they must acquire skills to understand information and put it in context and differentiate between what is real and what is fake. They must have the right questions and skills to analyze the content they encounter. Students need to shift from being solely consumers to being creators who can express themselves through media. They should create content, including media content, digital content, with analysis and evaluation in mind, and have a sense of the impact their creation will have on their audiences. Students need to improve, or rather distribute created and received messages responsibly. So they must improve their responsibility, their understanding of what they share and what they create. Besides thinking critically about media, students need to grow to be lifelong learners that internalize what they've learned about media and transfer it beyond the classroom, including monitoring themselves on social media, being critical of media content before sharing it. Students, and indeed teachers or educators, also need to be aware of artificial intelligence developments and its impact on information generation. For instance, how to identify conclusions from AI algorithms and their possible biases. Hence, ethical behavior is the ultimate goal for media and information literacy, as well as AI for all, according to UNESCO. With these remarks, I would like to also wish you happy Media and Information Literacy Week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hezekiel, for this very nice presentation in capsule form. You have rightly raised that media and information literacy should try to counter violence and hate speech. We also published a Melody Yearbook in 2015, and the title of that Melody Yearbook, I was the lead editor, and the title was Media and Information Literacy to Reinforce Human Rights and Countering Radicalization and Extremism. So recently, firstly, that curriculum was published in 2011, but now the revised curriculum was issued in 2021. And you have rightly said the title is Think Critically and Click Wisely, Media and Information Literacy Curriculum for Educators and Learners. You have raised very sensitive issue of gaps and divides, and people need critical information. So content creation and sharing should be reliably done, and that should be media and information literacy should support lifelong learning. And you have referred to AI algorithms. So artificial intelligence is okay, technology is okay, but we must not forget that it is simply a tool. Main thing is our core values. At the first instance, we are to be good human beings, and then we are to take help of technology, etc. And then ethical behavior. So these are very sensitive issues you have raised. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time at the last moment when we contacted, I think only 24 hours back. Thank you very much for stepping in. Thank you. We will be having more collaboration and partnership with UNESCO Office New Delhi, and we have many plans at Guru Kashi University and Central University of Punjab. We will be continuously in touch with you. With this, our next speaker is Veronica Zarnik. Let me introduce her. Veronica is PhD in economy and an academic head program master of international journalism and media communication. Her interests include global communication, media education, human capital management, Mill Hub, and Mill City research. So I also personally feel that biggest resource of any nation is human resource. So human resource development is the precondition for sustainable development of nations. Not taking much time, now I invite you, Veronica, to share your perception, and she will be speaking on trust in multicultural team, experiences of global projects and initiatives. Veronica, this is your turn now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Singh. So we will start. Just a moment, please, my dear colleagues. Just a moment. I would like to reshare. Okay. I would like to. Oh, just a moment, please. I would like to show the presentation. It's this one, it seems to me. Yes, okay. Just a moment.
Google, have you enabled her to share the PPT?
No, just,
No, sir,
okay.
Screen share.
No. Not this one. Just a moment. Okay, I understand how to do it. Do you see my presentation or don't? You don't see it, seems to me. Okay.
Yeah, it's not visible yet, ma'am.
It's not visible. Okay.
Enable
just-
sharing of the PPT. Only then she will be able to share.
Sir, it's
Then you
already,
technically-
it's already
Yes, from
already
another
on.
side. Yes, just a
The
moment.
arrow
Yes.
is there.
Do you see my presentation?
Yes, it is.
Great. Thank you
Yes.
so much. Okay, thank you so much. So now let's speak about technologies and about practical experience. And the theme of my presentation is the trust in a multicultural team. As the theme of our webinar today is the trust, so let's speak about it. Very shortly, I would like to underline the keynotes of my speech. So let's see the trust in our transforming world, opportunities and restrictions. Also, I would like to share with you my experience together with Dr. Felipe Chibos Ortiz from São Paulo University and about the UNESCO Global MIL City Go One Town Initiative experience, because we we have absolutely multinational team, as you understand. I'm from Moscow, Professor Chibus is from Sao Paulo, and also all the team which worked with us. There is from different countries, different continents, different cities and towns. And then let's speak about tools and technologies of trust in intercultural communication, not only about human resources or human capital, but simply let's see how it could work. So the first, what is trust? I would like to say that when I have prepared for the presentation today, I found so many different definitions. What is trust? So it seems to me that the most interesting in context of my presentation is the following, that the trust is the ability for everyone in an organization to confidently rely on and predict that others will do the right things and make good on their promises. So it seems to me that the trust is from one side about the others, members of our team from one side, and that we understand understand that we do the right things. So in this way, also I would like to say that I found the real book by Theodore Porter, the trust in numbers. I would like to say that it's rather different. It's rather difficult to find the numbers, statistics about trust. Of course, everybody of us know that on these questions in all surveys, we prefer not to say honestly, of course. Then, what's interesting? So when we trust and when we don't trust. We trust when we expect others to behave positively towards us. We may tolerate more uncertainty and tend to work better with others and stay focused on team goals. I would like to underline the focus on team goals. And when we don't trust, we might be more suspicious of how others may act towards us. We can become defensive, trying to reduce our vulnerability. And we may lose sight of team goals and focus on personal interests. So there is the balance between team goals and personal interests. Of course, the trust is lying on the team goals. Also, I found there another idea that decision-making is centralized. Team members provide unique skills and team members work independently. I would like to say that in UNESCO, practically all of us, we work in shared teams, or we work in virtual teams, and we have to work independently to have maybe meetings, something else with another team members. Of course, it's impossible to do every day, for example. So it seems to me that there is the problem, and I would like to say at once that the good decision for balance between teamwork and independent work, there is the mutual communication and information space in absolutely in any technical opportunities in Google ecosystem or in another ecosystems, maybe in MS Teams, something else, but it really helped to work. Then the role of trust in virtual network and in virtual teamwork, you will see that there is the higher risks and less risks. So the risk of conflicts, of course, because everybody and all of us has their own interests own experience or own expertise, and it's really hard to find the mutual point of cooperation or interworking or something else. So the main question is how do I trust you? So there is the main question, you see. And then you will see about the team trust, how it works, about the techniques, about the tools, and about the technologies. So team attitudes, information process, and team performance. So I would like to underline the following thing. The first, the role of moderator of teamwork. There is about team performance, about task performance, and about contextual performance, and content and context. So the context now, for, as I think, of course, as a leader of initiative, it seems to me that context plays more important role. It's necessary to see around, and it's necessary to try to find the, again, mutual points of connection and mutual points of cooperation, maybe. Also, about knowledge sharing. So today all our respectful speakers told about knowledge and the role of knowledge, not only in media and information literacy, but also about the knowledge at all in the modern world. And then I would like to say about some words about UNESCO approach to MIL cities. So because our initiative with Professor Chibos Ortiz, there is the initiative inside the approach of media and information literate cities. Here you see that the idea of MIL cities, there is the main UNESCO initiative and UNESCO network. It began from another UNESCO initiatives about smart cities, innovation cities, creative cities, learning cities, and so on and so forth. But I would like also to show you the next step of developing of this initiative. And the next step is Mill University City. What is it? So, about what MIL City or Media and Information Literate City Initiative. So, it seems to me, if we can say very shortly and very simple, how will city build a comfortable place to live? So if we say about media and information literacy in the city, it seems to me that it's necessary to combine two things: comfortable urban space today and media and information literate city. As a result, we can get the comfortable urban life space. And I would like to say that in this comfortable urban space, any university in any city plays absolutely very important and outstanding role. So the idea about media and information literate university city was suggested or was proposed by Dr. Felipe Chibos Ortiz during UNESCO Global Mill Week 2021. So it was last year. This proposal is continuing the development of this idea, the idea of media and information literate city, within the framework of UNESCO MIL City Network concept. But I would like to make the following step. And now we can speak about 2 points of ideas development. MIL City as urban space has many directions of realizations, and Modern University, of course, is the part of it. So I would like to underline that modern universities are not only the part of educational space, but it's also a very significant space of modern urban space. University and university campus, of course, could be the media and information literacy hub. in modern urban space and in education space. What does it mean? And so now there is my idea and my research about the MIL University as information and media as media and information hub. What is it? Let's see. What is MIL University today? We can say that MIL University, or Media and Information Literate University today, there is the special additional courses about media and information literacy. Practically, we do it in every university, in every town. Special courses for entrepreneurs, and it seems to me that it's very interesting approach, and of course it seems to me that there is very good idea about the courses for entrepreneurs about media and information literacy. I will not tell you about fake news, deep fakes, misinformation, disinformation, so on and so on process. Everybody of us know everything about it. Government relations, of course. Also university courses on the educational platform as Moodle, as Google ecosystem, as in Microsoft ecosystem, so on and so forth. Also the part of the educational program, of course, because media and information literacy could be the part of our studying programs. As a part of, for example, in my university, there is media ecology as a constant part of the studying program. And also the one of the interesting idea and my professional interests, there is the collaboration with corporate universities and work with corporates, big business, medium business, and small business, of course. So all these directions of development could create the MIL University space. And in this case, if we see the university as the hub, so what is the hub? As you see, and I would like to show you, there is the informational lines of the information. There is the lines of the information. But simply see on the airport, because in the airport we see the hub configuration when some people and some passengers, some flights come to the airport. In the airport, some passengers wait the following flights. Some passengers go away from the airports. Also the aircrafts, they can fly away, they can stay here, so on and so forth. There is the structure of informational lines, and it's necessary to understand that the university as a media and literacy hub, there is also the road with two directions of going and directions of activity, because information and media come to the university and information and media go away from the university. There is the structure. And so in this case, let's speak and return to the trust technologies, how it works in media and information university as an information hub, and also what we did inside of our Go On and Town initiative. So, what is trust? Teamwork, trust, and tech. Now we use tech. Now we speak about trust, and we are all the team which work in the media and information literacy space. So, key ideas. What technologies or what tools can we use for development the trust in our teamwork? The first, team as a trust technology. I'm absolutely sure in it, because if we haven't trust, we simply can't work as a team at all. But our previous experience, because when we have very positive experience to work in team, next teamwork, we will go with widely open eyes. Digital leadership, it's a very specific thing, but I think that digital leadership today, there is the good idea for support and promote trust in teamwork. So there is very important thing for team leader. If you are a team leader, you have the materials in social networks, you have personal media projects, personal social media accounts. So all the new team members could see your ideas, your approach, your activity, your attitude at least. And now, and in this way, and in this situation, we can speak about the trust for team leader from the members team. Expert network. We work in this direction, and now, for example, my task and my scope for next year, there is the creating of expert network for media and information university hub and new creative idea. But also, when I had Dr. Singh in the introduction of our webinar, also my colleagues from UNESCO, so it seems to me that also very good key ideas, key idea about trust technology could be the curiosity, because it's very interesting to see and to watch and to understand the international experience and to see other team members, how they work, how they think, what approaches do they present. And in all these cases, it seems to me that curiosity also as ideas, of course. So the curiosity could be the very good push tool for developing the trust in teamwork. Also, you can see the different also directions and different tools about the trust and about the virtual team performance. But I would like also to I return to these key things, but I would like also to see how we work in the international work team with our UNESCO MIL City Go On and Down initiative, together with Professor Filippo Chibos Ortes. So, what did we do? The series of webinars with experts about MIL City in Africa, with Emmanuel Komi-Kunako, Director of Development in PAFIME. So, you see one of the webinar when I also spoke about MIL University City. Also, the result of our team, the series of webinars with experts about opportunities of development of MIL City concept. And in this way, I would like to underline why I spoke about curiosity. Professor Juan Narbona from Pontifical Holy Cross University from Rome, when I suggested him to take part in this webinar in format of MIL Talk as a host of MIL Talk. So the first thought which he told me, Veronica, but I know nothing about media and information literacy as a concept. I work with mass communication, I work with organization communication, with church communication as minimum, you understand it, but I can't imagine how can I speak about MIL City. And then when I told him about the media and information literacy concept, and when we spoke about the city as a MIL hub or comfortable urban space, and at least when we spoke about the idea of media and information literacy university as a hub of information and media. So he told me, great, I understand. I know how to combine my expertise and my work with this approach. And the second word which he told me, it's very curious to see the experience of my colleagues. So I would like to say that the motivation for virtual teamwork in our approach and in my practice as team leader, it's the curiosity, because really it's very interesting to see not only on the colleagues' experience, but also to see the international or global experience. How will we work about it? And the third, the several special...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we are not able to see the other slides of your presentation. I can see only the very first slide of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, but...
No, we will share the slides later on.
Yes.
We'll share
Yes,
the
of
slides
course.
with the participants
Okay.
later on. We are running behind the schedule, so
yes,
it's
of
not
course,
time.
I will. Yes,
Yeah.
I will see it.
Because every
But
speaker has
nevertheless-
15 minutes, we will share the PPT with you.
Yes, practically 1 minute. You see, the last thing which I would like to show, that what did we do? Simply use the trust technologies. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Veronica. Your presentation is so comprehensive. I am fiddling with the idea that we will have to write a textbook jointly. We will have to write a textbook and we will involve all the speakers and get the contributions and publish a textbook on this theme, and from very publisher of international repute. You have very nicely raised these issues, particularly when we are saying trust, why people should trust us. Because if there is a credibility, we are providing right things to the people. And you're talking about the hub. Just like UNESCO Communication and Information is a hub for all these activities which we are organizing. Similarly, a university can become hub. And particularly, there are a lot of similarities between you and me. I'm also always worried about the conceptual access. When we are dealing with the access, I think it's of 4 types. Bibliographical access, what is available, where located, and how to get it. Then physical access, that information should be with you. Then language access, and finally conceptual access. If the concept is not clear, then you cannot impress the audience and you cannot seek their attention. Similarly, about learning and education, 4 critical components: faculty, students, courses and resources. And similarly in learning knowledge, you're learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live and work together. So learning to be is the biggest challenge. Learning to be a good hub, learning to be a good teacher, learning to be a good learner. There are many things. We will prepare and share the comprehensive report later on. Now we shift to the next, move to the next speaker. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you very much for your valuable time and this profound contribution to this webinar. Now, next speaker is Arul Selvam. Dr. Professor Arul Selvam is Director, School of Journalism and New Media Studies at Indira Gandhi National Open University. He is providing dynamic leadership for MOOC-based programs. His interests include media and information literacy, enabled empowerment, and the internet studies. So this is very brief introduction about him. Today he is going to speak on media and information literacy for effective teaching and learning process. So efficiency and effectiveness is the whole part of the matter. Now, Dr. Arul Selvam, please let us know what are the effective teaching and learning processes. Professor Arul Selvam.
Thank you, Professor Jagta Singh, for giving me an opportunity to share my ideas about MIL with regard to education. Good afternoon to all. I'm a faculty member of communication in a national open university in India. The university and many of the faculty members and all the stakeholders, we firmly believe that empowerment is a solution for national development. For the empowerment of individuals, education plays a crucial role. Through education, if we empower the individuals, that leads to the better society and nation. That's a firm belief of my institution as well as many of us. I would like to contextualize media and information literacy with educational context for the sake of empowerment that leads to national development. And in India, educational policy that determines the further course of educational activities for the close to 1 or 2 decades. In 1986, we got a new education policy. After that, 2020, we got a national education policy. So a lot of shift between 86 and 2020. I'd like to quote a few recommendation of National Education Policy of India, and then I'll bring it to the MIL, how we can contextualize these two components. NEP 2020 recommends, at least by next couple of decades, India should have 50% of cross enrollment ratio in a higher education, but 100% in the school education within the next 8 years. 2030 is a target. 100% enrollment in the school education, at least 50% in higher education. And the National Education Policy recommends only one line we can find out that how we can increase the enrollment. By the way, by 2020, the national enrollment ratio is 26.3% in India in 2020. If you compare with the global context, you can understand that where we are positioned. The global average enrollment ratio means number of people enrolling for education. 100 people are there, 100 eligible students in the society or in the country. In Indian context, only 26 students are going for school. 74% students are not pursuing education. This is the National Education Policy statistics. National Education Policy wants all these 100 people goes to at least to school education. Among them, at least 50% goes to higher education. So that's a plan. So how we can achieve that within a short span of time? Education Policy of India recommends that expanding open and distance learning to increase the cross enrollment ratio. I'll give a small statistics why NEP going for open learning rather than conventional mode. There are many modes of education: formal, informal, and non-formal education. Open and distance learning is kind of flexibility and convenience, and people can pursue their education along with their other career goals. Currently in India, we have 996 universities, 39,931 colleges, and close to 10,725 standalone institutions. This is the current scenario. And with this massive educational infrastructure, we are catering to 26.3% of students. And we have to double it. 50% means it's double. Double in the sense, university needs to be doubled, colleges needs to be doubled, and standalones needs to be doubled. Means close to another 55,000 institutions we need to create in another 8 to 10 years time. That's a massive exercise. Infrastructure development, human resources, and all other requirements. You can understand that how expensive, time-consuming, everything. So that another possible way is open and distance. Comparatively, I'm telling 1950, India had only 20 universities and 500 colleges. So you can see that how progressively we have reached this much massive structure, but that structure still unable to match with the enrollment ratio. But I'll give one more statistics. In United States, the gross enrollment ratio is 88.2%. We have 26.3%. In Germany, it's a 70%. In Brazil, it's a 51.3%. In China, it's 49.1%. The government wants to achieve in the 50% level. And why I'm insisting on that open and distance learning reason is open and distance learning is an education that happens without requirement of teacher and student in one particular place, one particular time. Here, the learning pedagogy, the teaching learning transacted through communication. Entire learning, entire degree, program, certificate, diploma, education, all this process happening through communication. Media plays a role in open and distance learning. We have to massively expand the education to large section of the students through technology, and where media plays a role, communication. And all of us know, since the team is familiarized with the media literacy, when we are dealing with the media, we should have a sufficient knowledge about how to handle the media, how to handle information. Then only you will take more benefits for your growth. When we are saying open and distance learning and online education, both are sharing the same principle and philosophy. The mode is different. Here is the technology involved, there other forms of pedagogy involved. But whatever the mode, offline or online mode of teaching, learning, everything is being transacted through media. Everything is being transacted through communication. Very, very crucial. You can understand when we are saying media and information literacy, we usually say that there are three principles. You need to identify the right information, and you should be able to have competency to understand the content, and you should be able to participate. These three are requirement to become a media literate. The same three principles are requirement to become a successful student in open and distance learning. New education policy, national education policy, if they want to achieve 50% higher education enrollment in next couple of years, of education by 100%, then all the stakeholders should have adequate knowledge, skills, and competency with regard to media and communication. Here underline the requirement of media and information literacy for teachers and students. Without media and information literacy, skills, and competency, the achievement of goals set by national education policy is a challenging job. The national policies needs to be adequately addressed. And I'm giving the case study of India, where the lot of efforts have been taken in the many decades of introducing media and information literacy in the school curriculum or in various other forms of education. Many efforts have been taken. Formal level, government level, or private level, whatever. We have very vast experience in a couple of decades. Even now, many more experiments are happening. As Helical was talking about, that the NGOs are being aggressively involved in promoting media literacy to tackle the fake information, misinformation, and disinformation. The many technology-based media literacy intervention or media company-based media literacy interventions are closely linked with how to deal with the media content in order to prevent the consequences of misinformation or disinformation. But media and information literacy, as a broad umbrella, talks about very holistic approach. Holistic approach in the sense you should have a competency to gather the information that leads to the knowledge. Based on the knowledge, you are taking appropriate, knowledgeable decision. That's a fundamental requirement for democracy. That's a fundamental requirement to become an empowerment. So I initially mentioned that individual empowerment is a requirement to become an efficient way to achieve the national development. So this is the case in Indian context, the way the policy are not clear, though there are efforts taken at the public level and private level, and the policy clarity is required. Aggressively, media and information literacy needs to be promoted. When we are talking about open and distance learning or online education, is going to be the main tool in which we are going to increase the GR. The teachers need to be adequately trained. If the teachers are adequately trained means they need adequate level of students requirement. The students also should match with the teacher's expectation in order to handle the media and information. Now, both the level, they should have a media and information literacy, capacities, skills, and competencies. So this is a requirement, this is a challenge as addressed in the beginning by Professor Jagta Singh as well as Helical. We need a very aggressive steps and promotion in order to implement information literacy, media and information literacy in various sectors, primary schools, higher education level, middle level, secondary level schools. So this is a challenge for us. So in case if we are able to do it either through informal level, formal level or non-formal level of media information literacy intervention, if our teachers are get enabled to handle the media and information better way, there are two benefits. One, if we train the teachers are having a multiplier effect. If we train one teacher and automatically in turn he or she can train another 25 students in a short span of time, couple of weeks we can say that. So in a year, a single teacher can go for thousands of students can at least have a certain knowledge about the media and information literacy. Of course, the skills and competency cannot be acquired in a matter of some 10 hours and weeks based on the classroom settings, because in a current information technology revolution, we are spending a lot of time with the media as like we are spending time with the family and the teachers and classroom. Close to 5 hours we are spending with the media, either through smartphone or through other material. In a week, we are spending 35 hours with the media. And in the school, we are spending 40 hours. Remember that. Through school, we are acquiring knowledge and that's being quantified for 40 hours. And our regular life, we are spending 35 hours in a week. Understand the consequences, the major role of media in our routine life. We have to harmonize the teaching 40 hours in a week and 35 hours of media, the time we spend. If we harmonize, then you can realize the potential benefit for the youngsters. 69% of India's population belongs to youngsters. And this is the strength of India for the next couple of decades. The growth based on these younger people. And a large majority of them, they know how to handle the mobile. They know how to handle the various tools. But media literacy doesn't end with that, handling the media, but they have to go beyond that. So that is the important point. And that the teachers, the one way is if we empower the teachers, they'll bring the two benefits to us. One, they will in turn empower the students. Secondly, they will try to integrate media and information in the pedagogy. They can incorporate media exercise within the biotechnology, within economics, within mathematics, within English. So whatever discipline, if we integrate the media and information system in the pedagogical process, the remaining 35 hours, I'm not recommending that all the 35 hours students will spend for education, but some good number of hours, they might use it for their own home exercises and exploring the adequate information to strengthen the arguments, to enhance the knowledge. Because a teacher-centric education is no longer going to stay for a longer period of time. And media information, whatever the information is being gathered from that system, is going to fill the gap. Teacher has its own limitations. The media can fill the gap. And media can engage the students. And it helps the students to retain the knowledge for a longer period of time. And it motivates the interest. And it
Professor Selvan, we are running behind the schedule. If you could conclude.
Last point, I think. So this is the context in which we are progressing. GER needs to be enhanced, and technology plays a crucial role in order to take a benefits from technology. I underline the requirement of MIL curriculum, holistic curriculum as recommended by the HELICA. And rather than bits and pieces of approaching the MIL, a holistic approach is required, and a clear-cut national approach in terms of policy implementation is a requirement to achieve the stated goals in a short span of time. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Thank you, Professor Arun Selvan. I'm sorry to pull the chain, but next time you will get more time. But now, because we are running behind the schedule, you have very rightly said, contextualized, that if we are to provide open learning, then media and information literacy is the only way out. And you have also contextualized in national education policy and teacher training if we want to create the ripple effect. And see, I also agree with you, tangibles finish and diminish with use, but intangibles like information, knowledge, they grow with use. So we will have to integrate media and information literacy, or we will have to place it under the core of instruction. We will have to train the teachers. Only then we can create the ripple effect. Thank you very much for sharing your effective strategies to promote media and information literacy as a tool to support open learning and distance education. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is our dear Rachel Fisher from South Africa. And Rachel Fisher is co-founder, researcher and ethics practitioner at 3 Consulting. She is also social activist with organization Undoing Tax Abuse, OUTA. Her areas of interest are public governance, gender equality, and social justice. As an ethicist, she focuses on inclusion, media and information literacy, and information for all program objectives. So with this brief introduction, I pass on the floor to Rachel Fisher. Rachel, start. It's your turn now. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen joining this session. I wish to thank Professor Singh for this opportunity to present, and as well as the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Bawa, for hosting this very auspicious occasion, and all our colleagues here. I hope I've observed protocol. And in addition, my topic is on resilience and information ethics. So I'm going to beg your indulgence from shifting a little bit of media and information literacy. And the reason being, we all know that is the global MIL conference next week. And because we will be getting a lot of MIL, let me use this opportunity to speak a bit on information ethics. When we do look at information ethics, one of the big components is literacy. So it does not cut it out completely. Now, if we look at the main theme of this presentation, it is on resilience, and especially how it is a dominant feature of a human-centered university that should be embracing disruptive technologies. The cue is found on the human-centeredness of this webinar theme that is on reinforcing trust. According to the American Psychological Association, resilience is the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. As a species, we are extremely adaptable and resilient, and a university is not built of brick and mortar, but by its people, students, lecturers, staff, expert communities, and other stakeholders. Let us then ask, what is the role played by information ethics? It can be viewed as the lens through which to interpret the world, but also a measure of being resilient in a time calling for digital productivity, but also balance. The next question is, what is the role played by media and information literacy? This can be viewed as the foundation for any individual to interact with their digital and information environment through having the requisite skills, knowledge, and attitude to be fully literate. If information ethics then is the awareness of conduct, MIL is the instrument. We must have the knowledge and the sensitivity to use this instrument ethically when engaging with information and communication technologies, or ICTs, because this enhances trust. Information ethics deal with the ethical implications of ICTs. In addition, it speaks to how ICTs influence human conduct and vice versa, how humans influence the design, implementation, and use of ICTs. ICTs have become so embedded in our life worlds and daily habits, it is no longer possible to extract it from our understanding of what it means to be human. ICTs have also become a mechanism to foster our adaptability, muster our resources, especially in the face of COVID-19. If it hadn't been for ICTs, the swift pivot to hybrid working, teaching, training, and even in our general lifestyles would have been impossible. Let us then consider what it means to be resilient from a practical point of view. For me, as a researcher, resilience is not static. It is an ever-evolving process that ebbs and flows from past experiences, our current circumstances, and our future provisions. Being able to adapt by evaluating the causes of an event and its potential effects is the essence that allows us to add new perspectives to a project and make a valuable contribution to the body of knowledge in a specific discipline. This then may be information ethics and media and information literacy. In any psychological study of resilience and how to build resilience, one must consider that there are many coping or adaptive strategies that one can use in daily practice. Notwithstanding, due to COVID-19 causing a shift to a hybrid work environment, and then also dealing with the uncertainties of local and global economics and politics, now is certainly a very good time to develop these resilience strategies. From an information ethics lens and having media and information literacy in our toolkit, we can consider asking ourselves the following questions as a means of developing resilience in dealing with ICTs and working through the effects ICTs may have in our lives. Here are 6 questions. Why is technology causing me to feel stressed? And how is my current use of technology contributing to my well-being? How is technology currently influencing or supporting my work? Am I becoming more effective, or is this leading me to burnout? How is my work influencing my relationships? And how am I influenced by technologies? What steps can I put in place to navigate challenges brought on by ICTs? How often can I reevaluate my work schedule and find balance between virtual screen time and real life time? And finally, how can I contribute to a more adaptive work and social environment? And then maybe, perhaps, we should ask whether we are not part of the problem. If we know we are under pressure due to expectations and due to the growth in the pace and the use of ICTs, maybe we are the ones that also put pressure on other people. We do so by placing the burden on our colleagues, our friends, and our families to keep up with us. Maybe having ICTs fully integrated into our lifestyles might fit our personality and working methodology, but it does not fit other people's style. How then do we adapt and pivot to not only becoming more efficient or effective, but also more ethical? We can do so by means of consistency, looking at long-term consistency that is built up over a period. An example of this is the center that I represent, a global center known as the International Center for Information Ethics, which seeks to foster relationships and partake in research projects and activities. Now, the center has started in 1999 already. That is more than 23 years. The specific information ethics that the IEC focus on, and the need to do so, have absolutely been accelerated by tumultuous global events. Being consistent in our scholarly endeavors to develop information ethics as a field, and to continue to advocate for media and an information literate society should be at the topmost priority of all academics. Consistency not only builds resilience, but it also builds trust. If we look at our context nowadays, speaking of the fourth industrial revolution, IE and the role of media and information literacy must be explored. This term, the fourth IR, has no doubt become a proliferated term. It seems as though the academic institutions, industry, government, and civil society organizations have all jumped on the bandwagon to partake in and contribute to this dialogue. And this could cause burnout as well if we're constantly running to catch up. Together with en masse publications on the fourth IR comes implicit and explicit call to duty. This call extends to practical considerations that ask, how can we substantially contribute to society? In the fourth IR, we also see linkages to artificial intelligence literacy. And this is something that Mr. Ezekiel Dlamini from UNESCO also mentioned, AI literacy. The term of the fourth IR often conjures up images of robots, drones, functioning e-government systems, e-passports, and biometric scans. Klaus Schwab's vision of AI, robotics, the Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, 3D printing, nanotechnology, biotechnology, material science, energy storage, and quantum computing inspires endless opportunities for progress and development in a variety of spheres, including physical, digital, medical, and educational dimensions. The fourth IR specifically enables the opportunity to conduct simple, everyday activities remotely, effectively, and with less human intervention. The sense of individual agency is strengthened as citizens are no longer limited by bureaucratic processes vis-a-vis formal office spaces. The demarcation between formal and informal spaces has become blurred, presenting the possibility to reimagine the office, the university, and the home, building on our sense of resilience. COVID-19 changed the world, and in 2021, we felt the major brunt of this pandemic. This led to the need to provide relief to digital fatigue. The migration to online platforms in the wake of COVID-19 is indicative of humans' resilience and ability to respond quickly and effectively to a global pandemic. However, together with the multitude of solutions, several challenges have arisen. These challenges may be technical or economic in nature, but they impact our digital wellness. More than 2 years into the COVID pandemic, more people are becoming increasingly familiar with digital fatigue. The tiredness and burnout caused by the overuse of video conferencing tools, such as this one, and other digital platforms. Improving basic information and digital literacy in practice, ability, and theory will bridge the responsibility and well-being dimensions in terms of information ethics. Together with this is the active promotion of core competencies that include the requisite skills, knowledge, and ability inherent to media and information literacy. The development of information ethics and MIL in research activities have been a consistent and a visible feature in academic and advocacy landscapes over the last couple of decades. Consistency finds itself in the active endeavor to align behavior with inner conviction, much like ethics is the questioning of good and bad conduct. If we do not question ourselves and our conduct, and we don't develop coping or adaptive strategies, not only will we fail as humans, but we will also fail to ensure resilience in future developments. The same can be said of our human-centered institutions, such as universities. Our adaptability and prioritization of what it means to be digitally well will be crucial in maintaining our humanness and to develop trust. In conclusion, as a final reflection on resilience and information ethics, one would be remiss to not recognize the profound impact COVID-19 has had on every level of society since 2020. Not only did it have major economic and social political implications, it also had financial, psychological, and emotional implications on individuals and families. The landscapes of employment and education have been altered irrevocably, and so has our relationship with ICTs. This year, we have also seen global social, political, and economic shifts caused by the Ukrainian-Russian war. Locally in South Africa, we are grappling with the dual crippling effects of state capture, as reported on in our Zondo Commission reports, as well as Eskom's load shedding. So Eskom is our power utility, and we get load shedding, that means for a couple of hours every day we don't have electricity, so as to balance the weight on our grid. Therefore, we would be naive to refute how these events debilitate our capacity to build and be resilient. Being resilient requires us to acknowledge difficult and challenging circumstances. We should identify effective coping strategies to transcend the borders of our new hybrid ways of working and being. And finally, information ethics and media and information literacy has a responsibility to continue evolving as disciplines that accommodate the need for applicable resources on how to best deal with the challenges and opportunities brought to the fore of ICTs. Now, this seems like a very daunting task, but we achieve this by placing humans at the center of a university, which embraces disruptive technologies to enhance our ability to live well and also builds trust within our communities. I thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Rachel, for this nice presentation. It was quite mesmerizing, the last word you said, human at the center. So we are dealing, you have particularly talked about info stress and techno stress, and resilience is needed. Disruptive technologies are there. I have seen that many people are suffering from technomania and technophobia. See, we must remember that technology is only a tool to facilitate this human development and sustainable development. And you have chosen your field very carefully. You are working on information ethics also. And here I am remembered of the 7 Phases of Information Literacy by Christine Bruce. So resilience, if you get out of the rhythm because of these disruptive technologies, then I think we are not competent people. If we want to remain in the rhythm and we are to work for human development and sustainable development, then we will have to have resilience, and that will come only from the competence, thorough knowledge base, pertinent skills, positive and proactive attitude, and of course, information ethics and your capacity to deal with ethical tensions of our times. Thank you very much. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. Dear participants, our next speaker is Mrs. Pradeepa Vijayatunge. Just a few, approximately 2 hours back, she blasted me because innocently I missed her name in the minute-to-minute program. So that happened, I publicly apologize for that. And now let me introduce Dr. Pradeepa Vijayatunge is Director, National Institute of Library and Information Sciences. She has many publications and awards to her credit. The biggest contribution, I think, she hosted the prestigious Information Skills for Learning workshop at Colombo during the year 2004, where this Empowering 8 model of information literacy was developed. Her main areas of interest are LIS education, research and training, knowledge management, information literacy, and information seeking behavior. So this is very brief introduction about her, but she has many feathers in her cap. With these words, I now pass on the floor to Dr. Pradeepa Vijayatunge. She will be speaking on Empowering 8, the vision and the consequences and the difficulties in implementing Empowering 8 model of information literacy. Pradeepa Vijayatunge.
Sorry. Hope you can see my screen. Can you?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yes, a very good afternoon to all of you. And I thank Professor Jagtar Singh for giving me this opportunity to reflect on the birth of Empowering 8. Empowering 8 is an information literacy model which was developed collectively by South and Southeast Asian librarians and teachers, teacher educators, educational administrators, a group of about 50 stakeholders with the help of resource persons from Australia, Canada, UK, and Malaysia. Why was it necessary? In the early mid-90s, there was a massive World Bank project implemented in Sri Lanka, and one part of this project was developing the school library system, and coupled with the education policy reforms, and there was a significant shift from teacher-centered learning, teaching, to the student-centered resource-based learning. Part of this project was to develop the school library system, and the concept of teacher librarian was introduced. And also my institute, the National Institute of Library and Information Science, affiliated to University of Colombo, was established to train the teacher librarians and school librarians at different levels. Well, resource-based learning or student-centered learning cannot be done without some support. It was totally new to us, to the Sri Lankan education system, and the teachers needed to be developed, the librarians needed to be developed, and also it was necessary to stress on how to use the resources to learn, and also what other skills are required by the students to use the resources for their learning. And while we were developing, as a newly established institute, we were developing the curricula for most of our postgraduate and diploma certificate programs. Information literacy surfaced, and before that we have never heard of information literacy. Not only media literacy, but we were not familiar with the information literacy. So therefore, we invited an information literacy expert in 2003 to conduct two-week program on how to promote competencies in learning to learn, and to train the teachers, the trainers, in using information literacy. However, we felt that this was not adequately, we could not really understand well what information literacy was. And then what we did was, with the support of late Professor Russell Borden, who was an honorary IFLA fellow, we developed a proposal and submitted to IFLA ALP to conduct a one-week international workshop at a larger scale. And then the main objective of this workshop was to learn how to reorient the classroom situations from teacher-centered to student-centered, and also to reorient school libraries from libraries to learning resource centers, and also to define information literacy skills in the Sri Lankan context. Because with Dr. Penimo's basic workshop, we had an idea what information literacy was, but we needed to put it in the Sri Lankan context, and therefore we planned this workshop. Anyway, the proposal was successful, and November 2004, we had this workshop with the participation of around 50 people representing 11 countries and the resource persons from the countries which I mentioned before. Well, this is the final group of people, which includes librarians, education officers, administrators, school principals, information literacy experts, etc., etc. So we had a very fruitful workshop, and these are the resource persons. We are ever so grateful for leading us to the birth of Empowering 8. Gerald Brown from Canada, I'm sorry I don't have a picture, and Karen Bonanno from Australia, late Professor Russell Borden, and Professor Diljit Singh from Malaysia. Right, this is how we worked. Introduction to information literacy and resource-based learning, because all these concepts were new to us 19 years ago. And different people presented country papers and lead papers related to school library development and the status of school libraries, as well as the place of resource-based learning in their school libraries. So, and finally by day 3, it was a 5-day workshop. Day 3, there was some group work on lead papers. Day 4 led to development of a model, and day 5 discussions on implementation and problems. Okay, and yes, I'll show you what we did. We, without our realizing, this particular workshop gave birth to the model called Empowering 8. Through 8 stages, it empowers anybody who follows it. I'll speak about the model. Give me 1 minute to show you what this is. We developed the model, and the manual was presented to the Ministry of Education, the Secretary of the Ministry of Education, because this whole thing was generated as a part of the World Bank project, and there was support from the UGC and my parent university, as well as the Ministry of Education. So we handed over the model as well as the manual related to the model. Professor Borden handing over the proceedings, and launching of the logo. We had to develop a logo and a model signifying the 8 stages. Yeah, this is the model logo we developed. Black and red depicts power, and it's also called a problem solving model because through 8 steps it helps solving any problem. These are the 8 stages: identify, explore, select, organize, create, present, assess, and apply. You may wonder what these 2 lines are. These 2 lines represent the librarian and the teacher in the educational context. If it is the straight line depicts the librarian, because major proportion of the training has to be done by the librarian, and dotted line represents the teacher, in this context teacher or the lecturer in the university context, faculty members, because this model is implemented in collaboration between these 2 provisions. We did not stop at that. There was a follow-up workshop with the same people in Patiala under the leadership of Professor Jagtar Singh, with this funding from IFLA as well as UNESCO, the same resource persons, and a little bit more from India, same participants plus more from India, a large delegation from the Ministry of Education visiting Patiala from Sri Lanka, and there were country presentations on the implementations since the first workshop. The participation was from Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Maldives, Thailand, Vietnam, and a few more. And also there was a plan for the future. But the beauty of this model is that there are several learning outcomes related to each step. 8 steps we have, and there are several skills related to each step. Altogether, there are 101 or 102 skills, but I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm just showing you what these things are basically. Like identify, this helps the student, in the case of education, helps the students to identify and define the topic or the subject that he has to learn or write the assignment on. Basically, I will take writing an assignment as an example, but it doesn't mean that empowering it is limited to writing assignments. In any problematic case, you can apply that to solve. So define the topic and determine and understand the audience, like whom are you going to submit? If it is an assignment, to whom are you going to submit the assignment? Choose the relevant format, identify the keywords, plan a search strategy, identify different types of relevant resources. This first stage gives an opportunity for the student to understand the problem they have, the research problem they have to solve, which in the ordinary case, under usual circumstances, which they are not familiar with. Once a topic is given for an assignment, they just sit and write something, write something. But here, this particular stage helps them to identify what the topic is about and analyze the topic. Then comes the explore stage, is to find out, locate resources appropriate for the topic. Not only the resources, within the resources, they have to locate the information as well. I'll go to the next stage, select. Then with the vast amount of available resources, they have to determine what are the relevant resources, what are the relevant information, and then record relevant information from the information sources. There are a couple of things stressed here. They learn about evaluating information and selecting the best for the purpose. And also by recording relevant information following the accepted method, they learn to use information ethically, avoiding plagiarism, and acknowledge the work of other people rather than committing plagiarism through the experience of using citations. Then once the information is selected, fourth stage is organize the assignment, sort the gathered information, and it's like creating a mural, a portrait or a statue using a ball of clay. So this is the real organizing, and the following next stage is creating the actual assignment using the skills they are taught. So prepare information in their own words in a meaningful way rather than copy pasting. Revise and edit. They are taught how to use reflective practices with alone or with their peers, and then finalize the product and also prepare the list of references according to a given style. Sixth stage is the presentation. If it is a presentation, they are taught the presentation skills, how to prepare a presentation, effective presentation, and how to share the information with the appropriate audience, display the information, and also set up and use equipment properly. Those days we used to have overhead projectors, and we taught them how to design posters to display their assignment topic or their findings. So different skills were delivered to them to enable their presentations. And then finally, seventh and eighth steps, assess and apply. Assessing, once the student present the assignment, assessing is done by the faculty member. However, we encourage the students through this model to assess their feedback, accept the feedback, and reflect on where they have done well, where they have gone wrong, etc. And also, after reflecting, carry forward that knowledge and experience gained at that particular instance by writing in the assignment successfully or not. Carry forward the learning experiences into the next assignment under apply, where the student is expected to perform well. So basically, this is how the model works. We have put this model into application, and you will find a couple of papers written by us in Annals of Library and Information Science, one in the context of law students and one in the science faculty undergraduates. And the science faculty undergraduate, the program started in 2009 and very successfully it is still going on. So there are reasons for a program, though information is literacy is highly significant, there are reasons, factors affecting their successful continuation. I'll come to that. This is the performance of the participants of the Faculty of Law. We have given them a pre-test, and after the program, which took ran about 6 weeks, and then the same test was given to see that their performance has increased. And also we got positive comments from the faculty members, because we invited faculty members to participate with the students to see what we are doing, and also remembering our 2 lines in the model, we wanted their participation as well. So this is one of the notices that they have circulated among the other faculty members. We found that the program to be useful not only to the students but also to the teachers as well, and they encouraged other teachers to attend the sessions. And since then, the National Institute of Library and Information Science have included Empowering 8 model in the programs under information literacy, and we cover a significant number of hours teaching the students and giving them experience in applying this model, because most of our students are either teacher librarians or school librarians, and through their research they're taking this concept, information literacy, to the grassroots level in the rural schools, which has become highly significant with the effect of COVID-19 and the sudden shift of education from face-to-face to online mode. And we also have conducted a series of workshops for zonal directors. So zonal directors are the officers who are in charge of educational development in the different zones. I think in Sri Lanka there are 90 zones, and each zone is headed by a zonal director who is responsible for the development of the educational quality. And we have trained them. Introduction to university academic staff through staff development programs, and many other projects have been conducted, writing on using Empowering 8 on writing portfolios, thesis, preparing for lectures, writing assignments, and carrying out research. So there are...
Mrs. Dr. Pradeepa Vijayatunge, can you conclude it?
Yes.
Because we have to have presidential address.
Sure, I have finished, almost finished. These are some foreign publications and challenges. Normally, general resistance to change, practicing teacher-centered learning still, although the policy has changed to student-centered learning, constant change of administrators, which needs constant training of the authorities, and negative attitudes, lack of funds, and time to promote research. And I have identified some future research areas. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mrs. Pradeepa Vijayatunge, for this nice giving this historical background of this Empowering 8 model of information literacy. I always feel emotional about it. If I'm not wrong, I think I suggested this name, that the name of the model should be Empowering 8 model. And you have also made people aware of the 2 lines, librarian and teachers of library and information science. These are not simply 2 lines, they are deep messages. That is a collaboration between the teachers and the librarians. Yeah. Then implementation of the model. I think there is now need for at least 3 days workshop to promote this Empowering 8 model of information literacy, and we will try to get funding for that, and we'll carry forward. After all, it is a relay race. Thank you very much. Because we are running out of time, there is quick time for one, before we have the presidential address, 1 or 2 questions, pointed questions only, please. 1 or 2 questions, if there are any questions to any of the speakers. I see 2 people have raised hand. One is Iqbal Singh and another is Paramjit Singh. Iqbal Singh, do you have any question? No.
Sir, meanwhile, Iqbal Singh is not answering. I am Dr. Bala Lakhendra from Banaras Hindu University, Varanasi. Sir, the discussion is going very well, and this is the need of ours, sir, this media literacy. As one of the speakers from America and somebody from Russia, they were talking, in terms of when we talk about India and developing countries, so need is different. So if anyone can address how we can think about this media literacy in terms of developing country and in terms of developed country, if anyone can.
I can take this question.
Yes.
See, in India, India is that country which has National Knowledge Commission in 2005. Unfortunately, India is not having a national policy on library and information. That is the tragedy. We have national mission on libraries. So at the first clause, there should be infrastructure, suprastructure. At the top, we should have national policy on library and information services. Number 1, at institutional level, we should have that policy. What Earl has already said, we should have to train the teachers. Only the teachers can create the ripple effect. And then we will have to develop collaboration and partnership with these countries, like the participants are here. IFLA and UNESCO are doing a lot. So the NGO should also come forward, civil society should come forward, governments at central and state level should come. So that way it's not a one-man show, it is a joint team effort. So that way only. And then we should have to place media and information literacy curriculum under the place of core of instruction. That means core courses should be there across frontiers in all the subjects and at all levels. We should catch them jump. It should start from school and go to doctoral level. That's what I feel. Thank you very much. Any other question, please? If there is not any other question now.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, I am a PhD scholar who's working on basically media literacy. So my question is like, what is the need of combining these 2 terms, media literacy and information literacy? Like today's seminar, it was on media and information literacy, but what I found was the whole seminar basically focused more on information literacy rather than media and information literacy. So I just want to know that why it's important to combine these 2 terms, media literacy and information.
Okay, I have understood your question.
Yes.
Your question is valid. See, there is symbiosis between information and communication. Now, from where the information is coming? It is coming from media. It is coming from, there are not only human sources of information, documentary sources of information, or institutional sources of information, or non-documentary sources of information. Information is coming from sites. When you cross the road, the information is not coming from the documents. It is coming from your left and right. You process and then you decide whether to cross or to wait. Similarly, when you go to the doctor, that information is not coming from the libraries. That is coming from your body, from your urine test and blood test. And on the basis of that information, the doctor treats you. Now your question, why when we are talking about the composite concept of media and information literacy, can we have information without media? Can media exist without information? Because they are independent. We will have to have media and information literacy holistic mindset today. So when we are talking, why we need media, we want to need this information. And why we are talking about media and information literacy for trust? Because we do not trust the commercial media. It is controlled by the corporate tycoons, politicians, governments and NGOs. They have profit motive or political motive. So then media, citizen journalism is there. And then the social, we are consumers at the same time. The heart of the matter is reliability of the information. So UNESCO is saying that we cannot think of things in compartments. That one way we are talking of information literacy and on the other way we are talking about the media literacy. In the beginning I said that when we are talking of media and information literacy, we will have to understand under what conditions the media is working and what is the motive of the media. When I was saying Mr. Hezekiel Dlamini is focusing on safety of the journalists. In many countries, the journalist's life is at threat because they want to share the truth behind the story. And the people who are controlling that media, they don't allow it because people want to gain and retain power. And whenever any threat comes from the truth, they will eliminate the journalists even. That's why UNESCO is saying that we should focus on the composite concept of media and information. Otherwise, also there is symbiosis between information and communication, media and communication. There cannot be any information without this media, or there cannot be existence of media without information. That's why simply talking of information literacy or simply talking of just like we were talking, not discussing the whole human body or whole human system. You're talking of the left arm or the right arm or left leg or the right leg, left eye or the right eye. That's my answer. Thank you very much. Any other question, please? Because we are running.
I want to ask.
Who wants to ask?
I don't want to ask actually, sir. I want to inform the panel that due to some urgent meeting, Vice Chancellor sir has to attend a very urgent meeting with the Minister of Education. So he won't be able to join for presidential address.
Okay, that's the sad part of the thing.
So I may request, sir, like if being the most senior, the panelist of this Professor Jagtar Singh ji to conclude this seminar.
Okay, I will have to put the double hat. I was conducting this seminar also now because our senior colleague, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, has many pressures. He has to attend the meeting, and this webinar went long beyond the normal expectation of the people. So I want to see, the purpose of this webinar was to create awareness and understanding of the concept of media and information literacy. Just as Rachel was saying, that asking right questions is the main thing. So here we have raised right questions like, well, see, what is information literacy? What is media literacy? What is the relationship between media and information literacy? Why we need media and information literacy? When we are talking of information society, first of all, conceptual access should be there. Why we need information? Information is needed to eliminate uncertainty and to make decision. Now the quality of decision will depend upon the quality of information. So that's why we are this UNESCO, the Media and Information Literacy Week 2022 is focusing on building trust, media and information literacy for building trust. If the channel is not giving the true news, why should I trust that channel? Why should I watch that channel? Why should I read that newspaper? So even that is happening in the social media. People are passing on the information without verifying it. So critical thinking, independent learning, recognition, self-regulation, fact-checking and verification are the main strategies to counter the bull of misinformation, disinformation, fake news, malinformation, hate speech, conspiracy theories, internet trolling, etc. So media and information literacy should be handled at two places. At the suprastructural level, there should be media and information literacy policies and strategies, and at the grassroots level, media and information literacy should be placed as core course under the core of instruction horizontally and vertically. I mean to say in all the subjects, media and information literacy should be promoted because that is necessary for making public opinion and for good governance and checking corruption and ensuring transparency. There are many benefits of media and information literacy. So the biggest thing is how to build trust. Media is to build trust, and the biggest divide is info divide or digital divide, and biggest gap is the capacity gap. So we will have to enhance capacity, build capacity, and enhance capacity so that people do not get carried away by info stress and techno stress. As Rachel was saying, that we need resilience, we need to adapt. The golden principle is lead, follow, or quit. Either you should lead or you should follow or you should quit the scene. There is no place for the grumbling people. So with this, I pass on the mic to Dr. Rubal Kanazia to propose a vote of thanks for all the participants and the expert speakers. Dr. Kanazia.
Thank you very much, Professor Jagtarji. When this idea was conceived, solely, the idea has come from Professor Jagtar Singh. He visited our campus and he spoke to our Vice Chancellor about this very important theme. And then we conceptualized and then he approached all the experts. So first of all, I must convey thanks to the person who has conceived this idea, Professor Jagtarji. I'm really thankful to you for sharing the opportunity for us. And now going to the speaker, that we have Mr. Hezkel Delmeni, Advisor Communication and Information for South Asia UNESCO Office in Delhi. He has proposed that AI can help us in reducing the exposure of misinformation and controlling the online hate. And certainly, sir, we agree to you that the AI can be one way of dealing and reducing the exposure of misinformation and curbing this hate which is available on online platform. So, but the media and information literacy interventions are much needed to reduce that exposure and to reduce that participation. So, I thanks to you for your valuable comments and valuable talk. And now moving to our next speaker, I must convey thanks to Professor K.S. Arul Silvan. Professor Silvan spoke of the trust in academics and through online learning, like how with the online learning we can enhance the critical ability of the students and how we can reach the masses and bringing opportunities to them and going away from the traditional university system and making education for all. So thank you very much, Professor K.S. Arul. Thanks for your participation. We'll remain indebted to you, and possibly we would like to invite you for another talk related to this, because our department is same, and in journalism and mass communication we rarely find people who are working on media and information literacy. Only a few and handful of scholars are working this domain. So thank you very much, Professor Arul. So then moving towards our next speaker, Professor Veronica Yarnuk. She is a PhD at the Russian State University for Humanities Department and UNESCO expert. So Dr. Veronica spoke about the trust and multicultural system and how to enhance the trust among researcher and bringing transparency using the approach. She shared her own experiences, how in a team that the one can enhance the trust and increase the ability to do some by doing collective efforts. So thank you very much, Professor Veronica, for your precious time. That the one point which is the most crucial is whenever we organize these kind of webinar, so the timing remains a challenge for us. When she was generous enough, she accommodated our request and she was there. And I must say thanks to Professor Pradeepa Vijaytungai. So she elaborated that her work, that how she started working on information literacy, and then how their efforts which they started the seed they saw in 1999 and 2000 from 2005, and then how the empowering age model has come. So that empowering model is definitely, I'm sure, the people who are in library sciences and in the other domains also, they can use it, and they can see the things, that they can see the content from this empowering age model, how from the collecting the information and they're completing those all 8 steps and reaching to the conclusion and reproducing some literature. So thank you very much, Professor Vijay Tunge. And now I must compliment to our next speaker, Ms. Rachel Fisher. She wonderfully delivered her talk on resilience and then how ICT can help us in reducing exposure of misinformation. Thank you very much, Rachel, for your presence. And now I must convey thanks to the Vice Chancellor of Guru Kashi University and our former colleague, Professor S.K. Baba, that she has been a part of our university from last many years, and still then after she left our job, left our university, and she was retired from here, and she joined as a Vice Chancellor in Guru Kashi. But that association is still continued with our campus. So we would always remain thankful to her for her blessing. Whenever we ask her for her expertise, she is available for us. So thank you very much, ma'am. And at the end, that I must convey my thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Raghavendra Prasad Tiwari. Why we compliment his role in doing all these webinar and seminar, the enthusiasm and the energy which he has brought to our system by organizing many webinars and particularly during the COVID phase also. So we shall be always remain thankful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Raghavendra Prasad Tiwari ji. And I must say thanks to all the colleagues and all, from the various other, from the other universities and from our university. And thanks to our students who have been attending the seminar from the past 2 hours 11 minutes. So thank you very much, everyone. And at the end, I request everyone to please stand up for national anthem. We'll be very thankful to you for this. Thank you very much.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे जनगण मंगल दायक भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining. And the certificate will be sent on your email IDs as we have already asked you to fill up the form. The form is still available in chat box. You can access and you can fill your details. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With this, we come to the end of this webinar. But this is not end to it. We will continue. We will meet again and again, because this learning is a lifelong process, and media and information literacy is the art of fishing, or shooting the moving object, or finding the needle in the haystack. So we will leave no stone unturned till we make people competent citizens for improving their quality of life and work. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Please put all the PPTs in the group, either group or please send through email, sir.